Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Lari and here I am with a new video tutorial on the Python introduction. This is the first chapter in which we will talk about the introduction of the Python. So what are the topics that will be covered in this whole session? There is the outline. Why the Python we should go and we should learn. So why Python? A brief history about the Python. And after that, we will see the features that is related to the Python programming language. So the question is why we should go for the Python programming language. So here are some uh, points that you will see that the Python is nowadays in use any type of the application development. So Python is used worldwide, and here a list in which you will see a few users of the Python. One is that is in web development. You will find that Yahoo Groups and Google and Shopzilla uses the Python for developing the web application. For the game, Python is also used in game development like Battlefield 2, The Temple of Elemental Evil, Vampires. These are a few examples for the game development. After that, you will see that it is used in graphics also. So Walt Disney feature animation and Blender 3D uses the Python for developing graphics animations. Uh, Python is also used in science. National Weather Services, NASA, Environmental System Research Institute also uses the Python. So we can say that the Python is used in every type of the application development, so that it makes it's more usable, and that's why we should go to learn the Python. Some more facts about the Python is that who uses the Python in the current scenario. So the list is very lengthy, and in one slide it is not possible to mention all the companies name who uses the Python, but a few companies name I can show you. One is Google, second the PBS, NASA, uh, Library of the Congress, Instagram, Dropbox, Pinterest. So the list is very long, and when you will go and search that who uses the Python, then you can find that most of the companies nowadays uses the Python. And if you talk about the placement scenario, then you will see that Infosys right now focus on the Python. That's why the Infosys launch its platform to learn the Python, that is InfyTQ. So every top companies nowadays uses the Python, and it is very much in demand. It also gives you some specific feature, that is one is easy to learn. The syntaxes of the Python are very easy, and it is easy to learn and easy to implement. When you write the code by using the Python, then you will see that the code is 3 to 5 times shorter than the Java. If you have learned the Java, and if you have learned any previous language like C and C++, then you will find when you will go and you will write the code, then you will find that the Python code is much shorter than the previous languages like C and C++. So it makes motivation that we should go to learn the Python, because you don't need to write so many things that is not required. You only write the thing that you want to perform through your code, since it allow you to express very powerful ideas in very few lines of the code. So so it makes it more readable, and its maintainability is go high. So this is the way that we write the code, that will be very shorter, but it will be perform the operation that you want. You don't need to write so many number of the line of the code. For example, if I say that if you want to perform some operation, and if you choose any language like C, C++, and Java, so if that operation and that task is performed with suppose 200 lines of the code, then the same task you can perform with 40 to 5 lines in the Python. So it makes your code very shorter and very effective. What is Python? Here are a few points. One is Python is high-level, interpreted, interactive, dynamic typed, multi-paradigm programming language. So this is only the first statement is not only about the Python. It says all the things that that is available into the Python language. Actually, it is a blend of so many things. First thing, that is, it is a high-level language. It is more readable, human readable form. Python is interpreted language. As we know that if you want to execute any code, first of all, you need to translate that code. And for that, we use any translator like compiler and interpreter. So Python uses the interpreter. It is interactive and dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed means when you define any variable, then you don't mention the type of the variable. And according to the value that you are assigned to that variable becomes of that type. And after after few lines of the code, if you assign some new value to the same variable, then you will find that that variable become of that uh, value type. So it is the dynamically typed programming language. We'll see with the example also that how to uh, initialize and how to assign the values, and it becomes the dynamic type. Multi-paradigm means there are so many approaches. Paradigm means approach. So there are so many approaches that we use to solve a problem, that we use to write the code. So two approaches are very popular. One is procedural and functional approach, and second one is object-oriented programming approach. So Python support both. That is modular programming, object-oriented programming, procedural programming, and functional programming. So it supports more than one approach that you can use in one language, and you can implement and you can solve the problem. So that's why we call Python as multi-paradigm programming language. Python is open source, so you don't need to um, purchase it. It is free of cost available, that you can go and download and you can use, uh, and it is open source, so it is freely available. It is object oriented. As I said, it is multi-paradigm programming language, so it is object oriented, it is procedural and functional programming language. Python is very rich in scientific computing in terms of the scientific calculation. So Python has a huge library that is that you can use to perform the scientific calculation. So only the thing you need to do is you need to use that library that is available to perform the scientific calculation. You don't need to write the code, only you need to use them. Well thought language means when you write the code using the Python language, so Python says don't go and don't write so many syntaxes, so many things. Only write the thing that you think. So it says that code what we think. So Python says write only the thing that you think, and you don't bother about that how the things is going managed. So all the things will be managed by your Python language. Where Python is used. So here is a list. There you can find that Python is used to develop all kind of the application. If we talk about the stand-alone application that runs on a single PC, and by using the GUI application, so you can develop the GUI application by using the Python. There is a module that is called tkenter. Apart from the GUI application that runs on a single PC, you can develop the application that runs on the web. So web application can also be developed by using a framework that is called Django. Python has a library that supports to develop the games, and The module name is called Pygame. So if you want to develop and game, so you can use this library. For the scientific calculation, if you have some piece of the code in which you want to perform some scientific calculation, then Python also provide a module by the name NumPy. So NumPy is very rich, and for scientific calculation, only you need to import that module in your source code and use the method that is available. For the data visualization, it is also used in data visualization, and module plotlib is available. So in one line, if I say that Python is very rich in terms of the library, in terms of the module, and if you want to perform any kind of the operation, you just need to use those libraries in your application. So just think about that I want to perform this kind of the operation, then go and search that which module is available for this kind of operation. Only you need to import and use. Here is a quick points about the Python. When the Python was developed, so Python was developed in 1991 by Gideon van Rossum at National Research Institute of the Mathematics and Computer Science, Netherlands. So it was developed in 1991. Some people say that it is a new language. So no, it is a very old language. In fact, it is older than Java. Java introduced the first version in 1995. Python was introduced in 1991. So Python is very old language, but it became famous from the year 2015-16, and now it has a very vast area in which you can go and you can pursue your future. Language was named as a Python after the name show, a circus show about the Monty Python. Monty Python is a person who play a role in that show, and after that, this language named as Python. It is open source and interpreted language. As I said earlier, you don't need to pay a single penny for the Python, and it is freely available. You can use and you can write your code. And it is interpreted language. Whenever you will write the code, you will interpret and it will execute, and it will show you the output. It is also considered as a scripting language. Why we say that Python is a scripting language? One of the features of the scripting language is you can embed the scripting language with another languages. Okay, so Python also provide the feature that you can embed the Python language with another languages. One example is the Python program can embed with the C programming by using the C Python interpreter. Functional and object-oriented, Python is multi-paradigm programming language, as I said earlier, and in the definition, we have already seen this. The Python is functional and object-oriented programming language. Python is used by the Google, and it going to increase, and it is become a very popular language right now. Google is nowadays working on a new operating system that name is Fuchsia. So that operating system is actually developed um, by the programming language, means the major role that is used to develop that operating system is the Python programming language. So Google is nowadays working on a new operating system that is the Fuchsia. If you go and if you search that what is the job trend of the Python programming language and the Python developer, then you can go and you can find on the indeed.com that it is a very remarkable hike in the demand of the Python developer. So here is a graph there you can see that how the Python gradually improved its position into the market. This data is till 16 June 2017. If you go onto the Indeed.com, then you can find the recent job trend. So one survey says that in year 2020 and 2021, there will be a very huge demand of the Python developer, because there are a very huge demand of one technology that is called data science and artificial intelligence. uh, Python provides built-in libraries to perform these kind of operation for the data science and the artificial intelligence. It is one of the survey that says the Python developer are very huge in demand. So here is the Python language feature. So we'll see in very brief, one by one. So first says that the Python is simple and easy to learn. Definitely, Python is very simple and very easy to learn. Why? Because it has very simple syntax. It doesn't have any complex syntax that you will write. So it has very simple syntax to implement that makes developer friendly and high level programming language. Second is it has the efficient high level data. Python already comes with the built-in data structure, like the name, like list, tuple, dictionary, set, array. So all the data structures are by default available, and whenever you want to perform any kind of the operation, then you can use them in your code directly. You don't need to create them. Third one is it is simple and effective approach to object-oriented. If you have learned the C++, that is object-oriented programming language, and if you have learned the Java and any programming language that supports the object-oriented programming approach, then you will find that there are so many concepts are available and you need to implement in that language. But Python has a very simple and very effective implementation of object-oriented programming concepts. So Python supports the object-oriented programming language in a very simple and effective way. And in the session where I will discuss the object-oriented programming approach by the Python, then you will see that the implementation is very easy. Python is dynamically typed language. So as I said, just look at this example. In Python, you don't need to define the variable data type ahead of the time. Okay, so whenever if we talk about in terms of the C language, C++, and Java, so first we define the data type, then variable name, and after that the value. So here, if you want to define any variable integer type, then you will write int, then variable name, and after that the value. But in Python, you don't need to do this. Python automatically guesses the data type of the variable based on the type of the value it contains. For example, look at here. MyVar is a variable name, and in MyVar, I'm assigning the value hello Python. So on the basis of this value, Python will guess that which type of this variable. So Python will say that since it stores one string, so MyVar will become the string type. So in the above line that you can say hello Python is assigned to MyVar. So the type of MyVar is a string. Suppose after a few lines of the code, and suppose little bit later in your program, if we assign a new value to the myvar, for example, if we assign the value as 1, then we'll see that this myvar will become of type integer, because 1 is the type of int. So the same variable can have multiple type of the value, and it will become the multiple type. So you can say that this is a dynamic typed programming language. Python is also considered as the strongly typed language. If you have learned, uh, for example, the PHP and the JavaScript, then you may have noticed that they both convert data of one data type to other data type automatically. For example, in JavaScript, if we write like 1 plus the string 2, now this 1 will become the string, and after that it will concat the value, and the result will be 12 as a string. This happens into the JavaScript. But if we do the same operation in Python, then you will see that it will produce an error. So it is a strongly typed language, and whenever you want to perform the operation, you need to convert, you need to typecast the value, then you will perform the operation. Python is interpreted language. So Python is interpreted language, that is, interpreter executes the code line by line. As we know that there are two types of the translator. One is your compiler, second one is your interpreter. So a compiler compiles the whole code in one go, but interpreter will execute the code line by line. So in line by line at a time. This makes the debugging is easy. So suppose if you have these number of lines of code in your application, so it will execute one by one, and whenever it will see any error, then it will stop there. So it makes debugging very easy. Python is also considered as the cross-platform language. Cross-platform language, in one line we can say it is a platform-independent language. So if you have developed the Python script on any platform, then that script will run on other platforms without making any change. Okay, so Python can run equally on different platforms such as Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac OS. So we can say that the Python is portable language. Python is extensible. So the Python interpreter is easily extended. Suppose if you want that the operation is already and the task is already solved by the Python language, and you want to use that into the C programming, then you can embed that code into the C programming also. So with the new function and data types implemented in C or C++, Python is also suitable as an extension language for the customizable applications. Python has extensive standard library. As I said, Python is very rich in terms of the libraries, in terms of the modules. If you want to see that how many modules and how many libraries are available into the Python language, you can go on to the python.org, and there you will find that more than 1,35,000 modules are available, that ready-made available, that you can use in your application. So just think about it, that if already these modules are available, so you just need to use them. You are not going to write your own code. So these are already available, and you need to only use them in your code. Now come to the Python releases. Python has actually three versions. Python 1.0, sometimes we say that it is 1.x, and Python 2 and Python 3. Python 1 is deprecated. It is not now in use. Python 2 uh, is um, is still in use, but the latest version is Python 3. Python 2 is still in use, and Python officially document says that it will be available till 2021. The most stable version of the Python 2 is 2.7, and it will be available to year 2021. And the latest version is 3, and we can say that 3.x. So since we are going to learn the Python from the scratch, and we are going to practice on the Python from the beginning, so it's my recommendation that everyone will, you all should install the Python version 3.x, the latest version. So if you go and search, then you can find that the latest version of the Python is 3.8. So just you need to only download and install and use. So these are the Python releases. So that's all for the Python introduction. In next tutorial, I'll show you that how to download the Python from python.org site, and how to install them in your system, and how to use and how to write the code. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this, then uh, comment your views and share the videos. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.